IVM.
Hello, Bunny Bun Bun.
Is there a dog barking in your background?
I can't help this. There are many dogs in my building compound who bark very loudly at night. So yeah, they are protecting us, I suppose.
Hi Tash, how are you?
I'm so good. I missed you so much. Can I just say that?
We haven't spoken in a while. We actually haven't worked out together in a while, so it's been a few days.
Yeah, it feels like you are missing from my daily life, which you are,
Have
I
been, yeah.
guess.
It's been a busy couple of days, and I say that knowing fully well that, I mean, I don't know, the whole definition of busy has only changed. So,
Correct. I understand. We are still in the lockdown in case anybody cares. Um,
cry.
Second month of lockdown has ended. Literally right now, 2 days ago, we finished 2 months of lockdown.
Yeah,
Um,
we're recording today is what's the date? Today's the 26th,
Today is the 26th.
right?
Yeah, so
And
24th
yeah, and so which means in
March.
a couple of days, May is going to be gone, which technically means the summer's gone, monsoon is nearly upon us.
Yup, don't know what's going to happen on that front, but the cyclone hit pretty badly amidst this lockdown, and I think that's been just not necessary or needed. And
It was the
I don't know, I
icing on
mean,
top of a
yeah,
very shit cake to begin with.
yeah. So, we would like to, of course, extend our heartfelt thoughts and prayers to anyone whose family
Our
and
Eastern
friends.
brethren.
Yeah, our Eastern brethren, we send you love. I know it's not a good time right now, but yeah. You shall overcome, as we all shall overcome everything.
And the country, we're all rallying together to get over each of the little roadblocks and speed bumps that the universe seems to be putting in our way. So this
Yeah,
is I'm not trying to trivialize it. I'm just saying that this is just one more of those, and we will overcome that as well. And not to sound like broken records or continuously ask for like money or relief from our listeners, but um, we thought that it would be important to just quickly plug some of the
yeah,
people who are doing some good work. So, Tash, if you want to
yeah,
just list out the ones that we've been researching and we know that have been
absolutely.
doing some good on ground work.
So there's the West Bengal Emergency Relief Fund. You can donate to that. Then there is the Rural Healthcare Foundation, and finally that's for the cyclone relief. And then there's Goonj, which is a very well-known organization, and they are doing COVID relief as well as cyclone relief. So I know everybody is a bit tired of donating. I can imagine that every day you see some kind of message being like, can you donate to this, can you donate to that. um, but that this is why I want to say it doesn't matter how much the amount is. You can give the smallest amount that you can spare, maybe even as little as 500 rupees or 100 rupees. It doesn't matter. I'm really sorry about the dogs in the background. Yeah, they're barking quite
And
loudly.
I know
I
that you're
don't,
talking about something serious, but I keep laughing because they're just going insane in the background.
but I love dogs and I respect them. No shade. They are living their natural lives. Yeah, so as I was saying, no amount is too small, okay, friends. As little as you can spare. Everyone's kharcha has reduced anyway now because we're not going out and whatnot. So maybe what you would have spent on a taxi ride or a meal outside or a drink, you can forward
One of my
to
friends
these
told
causes.
me a really great thing that the way they've been looking at it is
Hmm.
that every week she was like, oh, if I
Hmm.
spent like, I mean, she was talking in pounds, but the logic still applies. She was like, oh, if I
Hmm.
spent like a couple thousand or like say 2,000 on socializing and drinks or something in a week, I'm just going to give that to a different charity every week or something that I've picked. And that way, It's not
That's
green. And I thought that
amazing.
was a great way of justifying it and actually putting away the money which
Yeah,
you would have normally already spent on something.
of course.
So that's an interesting thing to look at.
Yeah, I think that's a great way of looking at it. I love that. Yeah, and also a small plug from me and my sister. As you know, she runs an NGO called Sakshi, and they are trying to make every home a safe space right now. Because of course everyone is staying at home and trying to stay safe, but we need to understand that homes are not safe for 1 out of 2 children in India who are suffering child sexual abuse. So we are trying to make homes safe. So if you can spare a little bit for that, or even just share or read about our cause or volunteer with us, we would be very grateful. It's called the Rakshin Project, and we are on sakshi.org. Okay,
Um,
Ayushi, I'm done with my small personal plug.
No, I'm glad that we did that. And actually, I would also want to take a couple more minutes of our episode to talk to you guys not one on one, obviously, but I mean just very
One on
directly
one.
from both of us. This is something that we've been talking about. And as you know, from time to time, Tash and I struggle with coming up with topics or coming up with relevant ones or something that we feel would be concrete and that we can do justice to. And we have crowdsourced topics before, we've talked about them by ourselves, and then we obviously always look towards our own lives and try to bring up these adulthood markers or stations, right, to give you
Hmm.
guys those episodes. But given the fact that right now it seems like all the news around us is very gloom and doom, our country truly
Hmm.
is struggling, our global community is struggling. We've really never seen anything like this, and it is very easy to become um, like it's very easy to get caught up in it, and so that you almost start feeling guilty about having or reaching out or talking about the normal events in your life because you feel like
Hmm.
either you feel a burden of privilege or you just feel really guilty about enjoying it, or you're just constantly trying to figure out ways to ease the burden on the people around you or for yourself, you know? So we get that. We ourselves are aware of it and we struggle with it in our own ways. But fortunately, unfortunately, we do want to go on with the show. Like, we do want to keep talking to you about different um, topics and things that Tash and I have dealt with in our adulthood journey. And while some of them might not seem directly relevant at the time or not like aware of the social time around us, it doesn't mean that we're not respectful of our global situation. You know what I mean?
Yes.
And we just
What she said.
yeah, we just wanted to let you guys know. So if, for example, next week we have an after hours episode where, you know, where we indulge in a few intoxicants and have a chat, it's not that we are forgetting that a lot of our countrymen are suffering right now. I just think it's at some point, I don't know how much we can talk about COVID or how much we can, on the other hand, we don't know how much we want to even detract, right? That's what I was trying to say, which is I don't want to take away the attention from people who are actually doing things and mix up the
Yes.
message. So, because I
Yes.
don't think, yeah. So I hope you understand what I have not very well, wow, wow.
Wow, what has happened to you? Ayushi, have a sip of your Diet Coke, please.
Jesus Christ, it's like 10 p.m. at night. I've had such a long day.
Oh my God, yes. Work has started. No, work is going on for you guys. Na, Ayushi?
Fully, fully.
Properly.
So that's all I was trying to say. I hope you understand it in the spirit that it was intended, and you still continue to listen for the entertainment and the
Okay, Ayushi,
distraction.
chill. They get it. They get it, Ayushi. Chill. It's okay.
I know, I'm sorry
Be
that I
good.
took time to explain it. I think it's because I myself am suffering from that guilt. You know what I mean?
Yes, understandable. But today we're going to talk about something which will make us all suffer another emotion. Because given the current situation already, the irony in the topic is ridiculous. Like, we wanted to talk about travel for a long time.
Mm.
And I guess we never got around to that episode. So then we thought, why not now
We kept pushing
when
it.
we are not allowed to do it?
Yeah,
Yeah.
we kept pushing it, thinking that, oh, you know, we'll get to it, we'll get to it. Little did we know that this is what would happen in 2020. So
Yeah.
anyway, we want to
Here we
talk about
are.
travel. And to
Yes.
give us a light signposting for the episode, seeing as I've already spent 10 minutes talking about other things, um, we're going to talk about what travel means in a millennial sense in terms of a couple of travel statistics for India, Southeast Asia as a region, and millennials globally. Where travel was as an industry, how much we were engaged with it, how much it was part of our lives. Then, unfortunately, the downturn and how actually it affects young adults. So that's kind of the process we're going to
Yeah.
go on. So shall we start? I think we've started. We haven't recorded in a while, and I think at
We
some
started.
point we lost our little connect.
Flow
I
or our
yeah,
jam.
I just
Yeah,
missed the
Ayushi.
studio. I
Something
think what
feels
it
a
is,
bit
I missed
like,
the studio.
yeah. And also today, I have to say there's a GLITCH.
Is there?
See, I think so. I mean, it's just you're taking awfully long to reply.
Okay, just power through, power through.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Okay, okay, okay. The exhaustion is there, but we must power through.
The things we do for you listeners, I hope you are truly grateful. Um,
Yes.
all right.
Now आयुषी,
So
आज हम बात करेंगे ट्रैवल की. Oh no, oh no, oh no. You went
there
off.
was a
Oh
huge
no.
GLITCH.
Oh my
No,
God,
I'm here.
that's
I'm here.
what I was just sitting here saying. Oh no, oh no, oh no, loudly. But now I've made a wish that we will record smoothly, so it's gonna happen.
You know what? In a way, I'm glad our listeners are on this journey with us. Please see what
Yeah,
goes
you
into
can
doing
feel
this
our
remotely.
frustration.
Okay, so we're going to be talking about travel. Why don't I kick us off with a couple of statistics that I've been able to find, which I think were most relevant to
Love me
us.
some stats.
So,
Yes.
before we go into direct statistics, I just would like to reference a conversation that you and I had. I think we've even covered it in one of the episodes way back, possibly in our first, that 10 segment, where we talked about how our generation is a more experience based generation as opposed to a investment based generation.
Yeah, we discussed this in finance because we want to spend money on
Right.
experiences.
Right.
Our generation.
Yes,
Yeah.
and because we have the options like there's things like Uber and Airbnb and renting and delivery services. So for us, it seems like why would I buy a car? Why would I buy a house? Why would I invest in,
Yeah.
pure gold jewelry? These are not things that occur to our age bracket. And when I say millennials for the rest of the episode, I mean kind of 18 to 35, because that's mostly the range that most articles talk about as well.
Hmm.
So, having said that, as if that's the sort of outlook that we have as a generation, in direct opposition to the generation that came before us, something that I also learned at my last job was that, and it was kind of like a saying, is that when the economy is doing well, you'll actually land up traveling less because you'll spend more money on stuff that has a more concrete return. And when the economy isn't doing well, you'll cut travel first because it seems like an indulgence.
Hmm.
So that's the way that people used to look at it. Okay, that's what the mentality was for travel, not just in India, but a
Hmm.
lot of developing countries as well as the developed world. However,
Hmm.
now when you look at just travel statistics across the board, it's mind-boggling. So Expedia actually estimates that millennials spend 35 days a year traveling. And
Okay.
Thomas Cook said that Thomas Cook means he's not a man, that travel agency Thomas
Of the company, guys.
said that they saw a 50% increase in millennials looking for experience-based travel, and 60% of 18 to 35-year-olds see travel as a status symbol of a professional achievement. So if you just kind of look at
Yeah.
these things, what it means is that millennials do like traveling, they prioritize traveling, and the definition of their travel has truly changed. It's not just about
Yeah.
going on like that SOTC travel to go see like Europe in 2 weeks. It's kind of now it's become like culinary travel, outdoor adventure travel, or like if you're
Yeah.
into comic books and be like, oh, I want to go to Japan and just get into like that whole art comic book art series. I want to go to like New Zealand and just walk the Lord of the Rings trail. So
Or like if you're a fan of BTS, you want to go to South Korea,
yeah, yeah,
you know?
yeah. And
Both have.
that's the kind of stuff that a lot of these travel aggregators are seeing. And if you think about it, in 2018 itself, the travel industry for millennial spend was $200 billion.
Damn.
And 66% of those people did it on their phone, which is to say how accessible travel has become to people. You don't have to go
Yeah.
through these really long-winded processes to get to the place that you want to go. You can literally pick up an idea, Google it, find five
Yeah.
different platforms that are helping you get the best cost, and book a ticket and
Yeah.
go.
Yeah. So true, actually. That's like the easiest thing.
And like in America, there was a study. Basically, they did a survey of like 2,200 US millennials, and they said that
Uh-huh.
52% of them are saving for travel. And in the age bracket of 21 to 37-year-olds, they expect to go on 5 different travel, like travel sections. Travel, what do I mean? They expect to travel 5 times a year, out of which 3 of them they expect to be international.
Fab.
So
What a player.
all that I'm saying, I know that I've given a lot of information in this in the last couple of minutes, but what I'm trying to say is that travel has been a priority for us in a way that it wasn't for the generation that came before us.
Yes.
We value it because we see it as a value add to ourselves.
Yes. And a value add to our Instagram feed.
Also, very true. And if you follow my Instagram, you know that I am the biggest totla for this. So guilty as charged. But
But like I feel, yeah,
no,
continue.
no. And my but sentence was that just but look at how one thing or one quarter of a year, right? Like so, last 3 months. Look at how that has just turned this entire industry and this
Yeah,
entire phase in your and my life
yeah,
on its head.
yeah, absolutely. I mean, this is also that peak summer time, no? So can you imagine without lockdown right now, we would be fully looking at people's vacation photos and videos. And
20,
I, who is not going anywhere anyway, I would have been very sad at home.
dude, 25 million Indians traveled internationally last year.
That's a lot of
You're
Indians
saying it's lots. I think that number is less. I think there's more than
because we are
25
such a big
million.
population.
Yes, I was just saying statistically, if you look at how many airports are servicing international destinations and how many people are now flying, because look at the amount of like low budget carriers now available. Like cities like Roorkee and in the south, and all these cities are now directly connected to Southeast Asia.
Yes,
Bali is one
that's
of the
true.
biggest destinations for
Yeah.
Indians who want to honeymoon.
And Dubai
Oh,
also.
people, Indians just love a good Dubai trip.
Love to go to Dubai.
I hate to go to Dubai, but it's a huge thing, and the Indian traveler is now becoming hopefully more responsible, more educated, more respectful, and these are all things that
But still very eager to get off the plane first.
we are so embarrassing. I think what I was trying to go with when we picked this topic and all these statistics is kind of like if as a generation we used to save, aspire, and work towards travel, what do you think is
Yeah.
going to happen now when we just don't have that option anymore, where we don't have that avenue anymore? So, do you think it's going to open up like, oh, you might spend that money on other things, or what do you spend your money on? Or would you find Do you think it'll become more like we might look more domestically to travel and explore more of your own country, something perhaps that's more accessible via just like a drive or even a train?
Yeah, I think it'll definitely change the way people approach the idea of taking a vacation or traveling. Also, I don't know if we're going to spend the money differently, Ayushi, because to be honest, are people even making the money to spend now?
That's true.
Like,
That's true.
as a freelancer, I know that I probably like the next 6 months are going to be weird for work.
Yeah, but see,
And there's no
that's
like,
that saying, so that obviously holds true, na? That even when the economy goes down, the first thing you're going to cut is travel because you see it as an indulgence.
yeah, yeah, I do. I do see it as an indulgence, of course. It's like a time off when you get to go and enjoy yourself. I
And
love
spend
to go
money.
on holiday, Ayushi. I'm gonna have a cry now. Yeah, and then
When do
you
you
spend
tend to?
money. So when you are an adult who are spending your own money, then you're like, shit, that's too much money to spend on this vacation. Why am I spending this money? I could use it for other things.
So that's what I mean when you look at this from. I was kind of trying to find an adulthood pull. I'll admit to you guys, I was wondering, I was like, are we just going to go and talk about how we both want to go on holiday? But
Holiday.
what I
The
think,
adulthood pull. Yeah,
no, but I think the main one is that it's going to actually cause, I think, a proper generational shift in the way we look at travel, which I think is, if I just remove all like the finances to it, I just think it's so sad because I think
I
it,
don't know, Ayushi. I don't think it will because I don't think this coronavirus is going to impact it forever.
are you crazy? Like, I think right now, the amount of money that they estimate industries and countries to lose from tourism, like 9.2% of India's GDP is travel and tourism. 13% of
Correct. So,
Southeast Asia's collective GDP is travel and tourism. And they are estimating that the amount of money that is going to be lost, like apparently Thailand, they could stand to lose $60 billion just from the tourism industry.
so I understand that that's going to be bad, but also I feel like human beings are too smart and too shana to not come up with a solution. So you wait for it. There's going to be all these corona friendly tours and travels which will crop up. Everybody will be advertising the next best way for you to travel. People are going to be piling on to that. There's going to be like a whole new style of what travel fashion is there now in fashion is going to be the corona fashion. I'm just making weird words, but can you imagine airport looks in the future?
No, I think what you're saying is quite it's a bolstering thought, and it's good because you're right. We've always made adjustments and adapted to the situation, and I assume that this industry will do the same. But sometimes looking at like cold numbers and looking at a money
Of course.
line, it just looks like, my God, people have just lost their jobs, lost their companies, lost money. It's vanished into thin air, right? People who used to
Yeah.
have these aggregator sites are looking at 2% cancellation rates to 100% cancellation rates.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, and when I said that it made me sad to see this shift is, I meant it more in the terms of, I think we were evolving as a traveler nation. Like, I think Indians,
Absolutely.
like,
Absolutely.
we were
Yeah.
finally, like, we spend a lot of money.
A culture of travel and not just sightseeing, the
Yes.
more of absorbing culture that was coming
And I think it was it
in.
was it was entering our psyche, and not just like the tier one cities. I think the tier two cities also were thinking that, hey, maybe we can go here and see this. Maybe you try this food. Maybe you learn about new cultures. And then the hope is that the
Yeah.
person comes back that much more enriched and that much more respectful of the global community at large, right? So then you
And with that many sick bikini pics on a beach.
exactly.
Keeping it real.
And that's why it made me a little bit upset because I don't see
Yeah.
people traveling for at least a year, just out of precautionary. Like you will think now 3, 4 times before you go. I think now the only travel you'll do is because, oh, you have to go for work, so you might as well just mask up, go do your work, and come
Yeah.
right back. Whereas
Yeah.
earlier,
Or within India. Actually, I think what will happen is like within the country, we'll maybe start looking for options.
Yeah.
do domestically.
In 2018, apparently 72% of Indians extended their business trips and made it leisure trips.
I love that. I mean, I do that sometimes. If I'm going to Delhi for a play
You'll stay
performance or
for 2
something, I'm like,
days.
I'm going to stay there for 3 more days. Exactly. Meet my friends, eat some food, vibe.
So people were doing that. I'm saying that's also going to go down because now, if you ask me, who is someone who travels a decent amount for work, I think I
Yeah.
get at least 3 or 4 trips in a year just for work. Now,
Yeah.
even if I have to go to a place that wasn't really hit by the virus, I'm going to like get in there, do my work, and try to get the first flight out.
Oh yeah, same dude. Like I was shooting in Jaipur before all this lockdown stuff happened. Now I'm like, ek to when will we shoot again? And obviously I'm gonna go and like be like, I want to go back ASAP. But
And and I
yeah,
think
you're right. It's a
that's
very,
see that's what
very,
I'm
very
talking
weird
about.
place.
And it makes me
Yeah.
upset because of the progress that maybe we had taken. And I think this is going to set us back a little bit. The hope is that the minute stuff starts opening up and you start feeling a little bit more security, say next year, hopefully there'll be a huge surge and the economy and the industry and all will pick up
There will
as large.
definitely be a surge again. Yeah.
But it made me really
What
sad.
goes up must come down.
Yeah.
And what goes down must come up.
I mean, it also made me sad because I read the article in the Ken. Now, the Ken is just designed to make you feel sad in
Feel
general.
sad, yeah.
Sorry to say if there are any people who work at the Ken who listen to this. I doubt there are, but I mean, you guys do great work. It's just everything is so depressing.
C'est
However,
la vie.
yes, but that's kind of where I was looking at it. Do you want to take a break?
I was absolutely just about to say that. Let's get into a little break, shall we?
Okay.
Okay, see you on the other side.
Hey everybody, welcome to another week on the IVM Podcast Network. If you're not following us on social media, please do. We're IVM Podcast on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. I'd like to thank our sponsors this week, Paytm Money. Do definitely check out our social media accounts. We've been doing some really cool stuff over there. There are a bunch of recommendations from hosts. I think you'll really enjoy the content that we're putting out there. And make sure you don't miss your favorite shows. Cyrus Says has been putting out some great stuff, as is the Pragati podcast, all about policy, has been doing some really, really fun stuff. The guys at Football Shitball and Football Twaddle are continuing to release episodes as well, which are really interesting. Best of Us Anupam's been having guest after guest, just killing it. Pulia Bazi's been doing so well. Postcards from Nowhere. All these shows are really, really doing well and really, really putting out great stuff. Appreciate the efforts that the hosts are putting in the lockdown, and I hope you guys are enjoying this stuff. And with that, let's continue with the show.
And welcome back to Agla Station Adulthood, episode 39.
Are you kidding?
Yeah. No, I'm not.
Are you
Yep.
Guys,
We'll be
so
40
cute.
next week.
Oh, our baby is so old. Okay, coming back to travel,
yeah.
I don't remember where we left off because you made us take an extended break.
We left off after you said you felt sad for the changing of the culture, and we are losing something that we were just at the brink of finding. Then
Right.
that's
I mean,
the
I could
travel
be
bug.
absolutely wrong, and this is just one person's opinion. It was a thought that crossed my mind, so I wanted to share it and talk about it. That's it. I hope to be wrong. I really, truly hope to be wrong.
Yes, but now, Ayushi, now that we're back from the break, I know it's lockdown and I know travel is something which is obviously not on anybody's agenda right now. But I know you have traveled to many, 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 many countries, and it's been a very, 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 very big part of your whole childhood and your growing up years. So can we pivot to the personal for a second, Ayushi?
Yes.
Can you talk to me about your connection with the travel sphere?
Oh my God. So, I've always really liked to travel because, it's so cool to, go to another country and, see what they do there. It's crazy. No.
Thank you for talking normally now.
I think, like you said, it was a big part of my childhood because touchwood, and something I'm very grateful for and I fully acknowledge is a blessing, is that my parents really put a high price and value on experiences and traveling as opposed to, say, many other material items as such.
Yeah.
Because they were more like, you get to see the world. So
Yeah.
that's the ultimate gift. That's a goal. And I think when you sort of grow up seeing that, and when you're raised that way, in your own mind, that's the only way you seek joy and expansion of like thoughts and ideas as well. So for me,
Yes.
till today, like if you ask me what I would love to spend my money on and what I try to save my money for, it is travel. And
Yeah.
whether it's trips with, like, trying to plan a trip with friends, or whether it's going to visit friends that I have in different countries, or travel with your family, at the end of the day, I think it always will be at the top of my list of priorities.
Yeah.
Also, I think it really also helped me pick what I studied. I think having traveled a lot and being exposed to many cultures and different countries, it really made me interested in things like international relations and diplomacy
Correct.
and global relations and things like that. So I have to say that I think that impacted what I studied, what I wanted to do with my life, working in even something that's remotely in international trade and
Yeah. Commodities.
commodities.
Yeah.
All those things are very linked to my childhood experiences. So for me, travel was important in these ways as well. So yeah.
And what about, I was just going to ask my favorite part about travel. What has the influence of the foods been on you? The absorbing of flavor from these various
Oh
countries.
my God, you said feuds. I really thought like a battle, like a feud. I was like,
No, I meant like Lukes.
Lukes and feuds.
Yeah.
Well, as you know, we're big foodies, and
Yeah.
um, if I think it's one of those things where I want to work towards having this the ability to just say that, you know what, I'm just going to pick up and go to Japan for a week and eat sushi for a week, just to see what
Oh
that's
my
like. You know what I mean?
God.
Those are the kind of aspirations I have in my head, that I want to go to just in Italy and for 1 week drive around and just do a pasta tour where I just stop in different villages and eat pasta.
Oh
And
my God, Aishi. Yes, this is what I want to do also.
yeah, and I've even thought about it in terms of like our country, where I was like, imagine if we could do a coastal road trip where you just stop
Yeah.
from all our coastal, so from like the Konkani side to the east, and really just eat your way across our coast.
India. Yeah. It's like that show Highway on My Plate. I don't know if you ever watched it, but it
No,
was
I
fab.
didn't. But that's kind of, for me, traveling is a lot to do with the food. Because I think, and
Yes.
I've said it before, I think the best way to get to know another culture is through food.
Yes.
So, Pet Puja, love to do it globally.
Love to do it globally, really. I mean, definitely one of the most exciting things for me also when you go anywhere
Yes.
is to try the food of that place.
And those are the
Whether it's,
memories that stay with you also. Like, remember that?
yeah, you know, we ate this over there and we ate that. Remember how good that was? Of course, it's all food related. And of course, view related, also the vibe related. Sunset sundar tha, ye wo. But khana, dude, that's like, I have a like lifelong dream of going to Japan once
Yes.
and eating all of the sushi that I can, so then I can finally become vegetarian after that. I'm just waiting for that time to come when I can go and eat it,
So
and then
then
I'll be veg.
I truly, I'm so sorry to say, but I hope you don't go to Japan for many years.
Stop it! Take your shrap back. Just take it back.
I take it back, but I put the words into the universe, because you said you're going to be veggie after that. That just ruins everything. But yeah, because when you when you care so much about what's on your plate, then you really, like, you want to suss out the best place to eat something, or like the best, it's known only for this, it's known only for that. Like, I want to explore that in a place as well.
Yeah, like coming to Mumbai and eating vada pav, or like, you want to go there and eat the local cuisine, but the best vada pav, which in my humble opinion is Datta Snacks vada pav.
Oh yeah, I agree.
Cool.
No, we
Great.
will
I
not
know.
have any. I will not fight back on this. You
Yeah,
know
we
me.
will.
I'm a VP connoisseur.
I love a good VP. And now this has turned into a food episode. We are so sorry
No,
about
I'm
that.
sorry, but travel. So, okay, let me ask you some generic ass travel questions. What
Oh,
was your favorite country you visited and why?
I'm gonna have to say that my trip to Switzerland was my favorite. Even though I did not see much of it. So it was a very offbeat trip in the sense I went only to Zurich, and then Natasha and I, my sister and I, stayed for a week at this small town
Mm-hmm.
called Enetbergen. It's a very small village, if you will. But वहाँ के village भी हमारी cities से better है, of course. Um, and that was just the best week ever because we would just drive around the Alps and stop at a
Beautiful.
different location every day, and we would pack a picnic lunch and take it, and we'll hike up and we'll eat. It was a very different kind of holiday. I didn't put pressure, and okay, all our life, whenever we went on vacation, no, it was about these are the places we have to see, and we have like a really intense itinerary
I,
as travelers. My parents are not going there to sleep and chill. No, they are not interested. They want to do things.
but even I'm like that.
ये म्यूजियम जाएंगे फिर ये मॉन्यूमेंट देखेंगे of course same.
I don't like to waste time.
But in Switzerland there's just greenery and it's so nice. You just go to see new greenery every day.
You sent us some
So yeah.
really, really beautiful pictures from that trip. I remember. I clearly remember.
And also why I loved that trip the most because it had the best hashtag for a trip. Ritz in Swits. Just want to put it out there.
But you know what? That's fine. That could have been your reason. It's all valid and fair. And if that was your favorite trip and those are the reasons why, I accept it. It's a strong answer.
Thanks a ton. And I ate fondue, man. मतलब और क्या चाहिए?
My God, this episode, I knew it. This would do to us. It's just so sad.
It's gonna make us hungry.
Hungry, and I think it's just making. No, not hungry. It's just making me sad.
Do not. Okay, I understand. Don't be sad, Aishi. Come on. We'll be happy
Okay, fine. Then, before we wrap this up, let me ask, which is a country you'd like to visit and why?
Visit. Oh, I would very much like to visit Japan so I can eat all
you can't say that.
my
Don't
weight
say that
in sushi.
You already said that, and that's a common goal, so we can't list that as a country.
Okay, fine. Then among something more exotic, I definitely want to go to the Masai Mara. That's like very, very up there on my list.
Bold choice. I like it. You want to go see the migration? That kind of
100%. I want to see those wildebeests doing their thing because I'm a wildebeest.
You know, I saw, this is way back when we were thinking of going, and obviously things came up, we didn't. But while I was Googling, obviously it takes you to these kind of websites where it's like, oh, travel in this luxurious way, go glamping, da, da, da. And obviously curiosity got the better of me, and I wanted to see what you would get in that luxe situation. There are experiences where you can go in like hot air balloons, and then you float across like the Serengeti, and you just watch from above the migration take place. And you have a bird's eye view of the entire like the plains just sprawled and spread under you. And I was just thinking, I was like, you know what? That's the way to see this. Like, if you're gonna go, you gotta go for gold, see it from the sky.
That's wild.
I can't even
also like
what it costs.
So much pressure on now because now you travel is one thing, then you have to be super rich to travel luxuriously and all also then.
I will say to all our listeners, and I think to each other as well, there are a multitude of ways to travel economically, I think frugally, and still have a great experience. There are I think the concept of Airbnb has totally revolutionized the way you can travel.
Yeah.
And you don't need to stay at like the fanciest hotels in like Paris and, Amsterdam to see like the city in its best light. You know what I mean?
Apartment rent karo, chill karo.
Yeah. So you want to go to Africa. And I'm saying Africa, I understand it's a continent, but she's obviously talking about the migration, so it spreads across many countries. So I can say Africa. Shut up.
Yeah, and I also want to go to Egypt also because that's part of Africa also. So good.
Oh my God. You...
Did I steal the one you wanted to say?
No. I've been to Egypt.
Of course you have. She's been everywhere. It's no fun playing this game with her.
No.
I want to go to New Zealand also, damn badly. But again, I feel like it'll be like Switzerland only. Like ghas, poos and guys.
So it's actually my next, what am I saying next? Where I don't have the money / wherewithal to even go on this trip, but I want to go like whale watching.
Oh my God, Ayushi, yes, of course.
If you follow me on Instagram, you know me.
Where can you watch them?
So in terms of like the best place to actually see humpback whales is in Tonga. It's a country.
Where's Tonga?
It's a country in like Oceania, it's basically the South
Oh,
Pacific. It's a
got it.
Polynesian island, and it's in the South
Got
Pacific.
it.
And it's pretty much like untouched, but they have
Oh my God.
it's one of the best places to see whales because they come there because it's a warmer waters. They come there with their calves and they start their journey. It's like one of the points on the journey up north that they take,
Wow.
and it's a dream. It's a pure, true dream of mine to actually be in the water with whales. And I don't know when and if this would ever happen, but that to me would be the ultimate. Oh, I'm so sad.
Oh my God, Aishi.
Anyway,
We will do
but
it.
these are those aspirations. Like I still have like years
Yeah.
of hustle to make this a reality. You know what I mean? Like, and I'm well aware
Of course. But it's so nice that you have this one thing that you really want to do, which is such a major experience. I love it. I'm going to copy it, and I'm also going to do it.
We'll go together.
I know. I would love that.
We are not
Let's
going
make a pact.
We are not going to Japan together, though.
No, we'll go to Tonga.
I would love to go to Japan with you, though,
Then
in
we-
terms of just, you know, how we enjoy eating sushi, though.
Arigato.
Also, I want to go on these holidays with you because you take the greatest vibe pics. So let's be honest, I'd get the gram pics as well.
Of course, Ayushi-san. I will be personal photographer.
Well, if this episode hasn't made you laugh, it has just made you sad. We do apologize.
Yeah, but also I think it's important to reflect now that we can't travel on the value
dreaming.
that it adds. Yeah.
I think don't give up on these little small aspirations and these dreams and these experiences because I think travel is super, super integral to your development as an adult.
Yes.
But
also, I want to add a quick note to that.
Ahead.
It's not that important, but you know, like sometimes the screensavers play when your TV is paused on Apple.
Even that looks so good.
Right? So they show such nice locations. So sometimes I feel like I'm on a vacation just watching those screensavers. And that's also good because now we have the internet. So we can even like watch things about other cultures and maybe learn beforehand, you know? We can just get invested in the idea of learning about the world and its cultures.
Absolutely. And that's something that I think is like a great tip for now.
Yes, we can do that much.
But I think in terms of like the adulthood thing, kind of what we wanted to talk about in general with the whole travel idea is that whether it's domestic, whether it's international, whether it's just in and around your own community, I think travel helps you expand your horizon. It helps you expand your understanding of the world. You become more accepting, you become more tolerant. And I promise you, this happens through travel. It's the most like innocuous way that you will find your personality and ideals changing without you even realizing it, I think. Because sometimes when you, like, it's so bizarre. We were in, I think we were in Spain and we were in Madrid and there was a pride down. So that like half the city some areas of the city were like cordoned off and then one entire square, which was the square behind our hotel, was where the concert at the end of the night was going to be held. And it was this like crazy large pride festival and parade.
Sick.
And I was so excited. I was like, oh my God, because I know the gays know how to party. So I was like, I want to be there. And whereas my parents, who are obviously, it's not about homophobic or not, they're just obviously a lot more conservative.
From a different generation, yeah.
Exactly. So they were like, oh, this is what like pride looks like. So I was like, yeah.
Yeah.
And I swear that night, my mom, I was like, Mom, just come. We'll go. It'll be so much fun. We'll just grab a couple drinks and it'll be such a good time. So just she and I we went down to the square and we were there till like 2 a.m.
Wow.
For a couple of drinks, she was dancing on the side. We made some random stick pictures of us, and we still have these blurry images from this night. Until date, sometimes I'm like, do you remember when we like raged at a pride parade in Madrid and you did that? And she was like, yeah, it was so much fun.
I love that. That's such a wholesome travel story.
Yeah, and even though I'm not saying that the person has flipped a switch and is now like rallying for every single pride parade, I think it changes your idea, and it
Of
makes
course,
it
yeah.
makes you look around and you're like, hey, look, we're all the same at the core of it. We just have maybe a different way of expressing ourselves and we speak a different language, but humanity is a very shared experience. And that, I think, is the underlying value and the underlying like strength of traveling,
Absolutely.
is that you kind of get to cross these borders.
I love that.
Yeah, I'm really impressed with what I just said. I'm not going to lie.
I'm impressed with you always, Ayushi.
I really want to go travel. Anywho, we hope that you enjoyed this episode.
Yes.
Should you have any suggestions for us upcoming, please let us know. We're really quite tired of begging you all. Just say now, what do you want to do? And on that note, we haven't told you guys in a while, but if you like this podcast, don't forget to check out other interesting podcasts on the IVM network. You can listen to us on the IVM Podcast app or ivmpodcast.com. You can also follow us on our social media. We are at IVM Podcast on Twitter and Instagram. And if you want to reach out to me, you can find me on Twitter at Just Ayushi and at AyushiA9 on Instagram.
And I am at RYTASH on Instagram. So we hope you enjoyed this episode of Agla Station Adulthood. And I would like to leave you all with a wanderlusty quote at the end of this, of course.
I knew it!
Because why not, Ayushi? It's all about that wanderlust.
Go for it.
Take only memories, leave only footprints.
Oh, Gulzar Saab, you have just said it all.
LOL. You know, these are just quotes to fuel your wanderlust. Quite literally, there's a whole article. Oh, darling, let's be adventurous.
And until your next trip, we will see you on Instagram through these quotes and these wanderlust accounts. So stay safe, stay socially distant as you can. And lots of love and good wishes to all of you at home.
Okay, friends. Love you all. Bye.
Good night. Bye.
It's not night for them, Ayushi.
Okay, good night, Dash.
Hi, I'm Satyajit.
Hi, I'm Racheta.
We are from the Open Library Project and we host a podcast called Paperback.
Paperback is a podcast where we engage with stalwarts and experts from various industries, suggesting non-fiction titles that contributed to their journey in a big way.
We've had guests like Anjali Raina, Dr. Marcus Rani, Dr. Swati Lodha, Ambi Parmeswaran, Apurva Damani, and many more on our show Paperback. Find new episodes every Wednesday on IVM Podcast app, website, or wherever you listen to podcasts.
Look! Up in the internet! It's a meme! No! It's a cat video! No! It's the Geek Fruit Podcast!
That's right, we interrupt this riveting broadcast to tell you about our show, The Geek Fruit Podcast, where Tejas, Dinkar and I, Jishnu, talk about everything in pop culture, including DC, Marvel, Star Wars, Netflix, and everything in between.
You know how your friends hate it when you ramble about some nerdy crap and you just want somebody to listen to you? Well, sorry, there's nothing we can do about that, but come listen to us ramble and it'll almost be like the real thing. Kind of.
Listen to new episodes of the Geek Fruit Podcast every Monday and the Geek Fruit Bulletin every Thursday on iTunes, Google Podcasts, the IVM app, or wherever you listen to podcasts. Happy listening, you nerds.